Most people spend their entire lives searching for success in the outside world. They believe success comes from luck, connections, talent, or some rare opportunity that only a few people ever receive. But according to Joseph Murphy, the greatest source of power is not outside you at all. It is inside you. Hidden deep within your mind is a limitless reservoir of creativity, intelligence, healing, and opportunity. Dr. Murphy calls it the treasure house within you. Think about it this way. Imagine someone living on a piece of land for many years. The land looks ordinary, maybe even poor. The owner struggles to make money and believes the property has little value. But one day, experts discover that beneath that same land lies a massive reserve of oil worth millions of dollars. Suddenly, everything changes. The land was never poor. The owner simply didn't know the treasure that existed underneath it. Dr. Murphy says the human mind works the same way. Many people live their lives believing they are limited, unlucky, or powerless, when in reality they are sitting on an incredible mental treasure that they have never learned to use. Your subconscious mind stores ideas, memories, beliefs, and patterns that quietly influence every part of your life. The career you choose, the money you earn, the relationships you build, and even your health are affected by what is happening inside this deeper part of your mind. If your subconscious is filled with fear, doubt, and negative beliefs, those thoughts begin shaping your reality. But if it is filled with confidence, belief, and positive expectations, it begins creating opportunities and solutions you never imagined before. There is a simple story that illustrates this principle beautifully. A young man once visited a wise mentor and complained that life was unfair. He said that no matter how hard he worked, success never seemed to come his way. The mentor listened quietly and then handed him a glass of water. He asked the young man to drop a pinch of salt into the glass and drink it. The young man immediately made a face and said the water tasted terrible. Then the mentor took him to a nearby lake and asked him to drop another pinch of salt into the water and take a sip. This time, the young man said the water tasted perfectly normal. The mentor smiled and said the salt represents your problems. The glass and the lake represent your mind. If your mind is small and limited, even small problems will make life feel bitter. But if your mind becomes vast and powerful, those same problems lose their power. Dr. Murphy believed that your subconscious mind has the ability to expand your thinking and transform your life if you learn how to work with it instead of against it. Most people unknowingly fill their minds with negative suggestions. They constantly repeat thoughts like, I can't do this, I'm unlucky, or success is for other people. Over time, the subconscious mind accepts these thoughts as instructions and begins creating experiences that match them. But here is the good news. The same power that can create limitations can also create success. When you start planting new thoughts of confidence, success, and possibility into your subconscious mind, those ideas begin growing quietly beneath the surface. At first, nothing seems to change. But just like seeds planted in soil, these thoughts eventually begin producing visible results in your life. The central message of the power of your subconscious mind begins here. You already possess incredible mental power. The problem is not lack of ability. The problem is lack of awareness. Once you discover how to direct your subconscious mind, you begin unlocking ideas, solutions, and opportunities that were always available to you. And this realization changes everything. Because when you understand that the greatest treasure in your life is already within you, you stop searching for power outside and start learning how to use the power that has been with you all along.
To truly understand the power of your subconscious mind, you first need to understand how your mind actually works. According to Joseph Murphy, the human mind operates like a powerful system with two different parts working together every moment of your life: the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is the part you are aware of right now. It is the part that thinks, analyzes, makes decisions, and chooses what to believe. Dr. Murphy describes it as the captain of the ship. It decides the direction, gives commands, and determines where the ship will go. But the captain cannot move the ship alone. Deep below the deck is the engine room, which represents the subconscious mind. The engine room does not question the captain. It simply follows the instructions it receives and uses its enormous power to move the ship in that direction. This is where most people unknowingly make a mistake. Every day, they give their subconscious mind negative instructions without even realizing it. When someone constantly says things like, "I'm terrible with money," "Nothing ever works out for me," or "I'm not smart enough," the subconscious mind quietly accepts those statements as truth. It begins organizing thoughts, behaviors, and opportunities in ways that match those beliefs. Over time, those negative thoughts slowly become a self-fulfilling reality. A simple real-life story explains this perfectly. A man once started a new job at a company, but constantly told himself that he was not qualified enough for the position. Even though his manager believed in his abilities, he kept repeating the thought that he would eventually fail. Because of this belief, he became nervous during meetings, avoided taking initiative, and constantly doubted his decisions. After a few months, his performance began to drop, and eventually he was replaced by someone else. When he left the job, he told his friends, "I knew this would happen." But in reality, the outcome was not caused by lack of ability. It was caused by the belief he planted into his subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind works like fertile soil. Whatever thoughts you plant into it, positive or negative, begin to grow over time. If you plant seeds of fear, doubt, and insecurity, those seeds grow into limitation and frustration. But if you plant seeds of confidence, creativity, and success, those ideas slowly begin shaping your actions and opportunities. One fascinating aspect of the subconscious mind is that it works all the time, even when you are sleeping. While you rest at night, your subconscious continues processing information, solving problems, and organizing your thoughts. Many great thinkers and inventors have discovered solutions to complex problems during sleep because their subconscious mind kept working when their conscious mind was resting. There is a well-known story about a scientist who spent weeks trying to solve a difficult engineering problem but could not find the answer. Frustrated, he finally went to sleep. In the middle of the night, he suddenly woke up with a clear idea of the solution. He quickly wrote it down, and that idea later became a successful invention. What happened was not magic. His subconscious mind had continued working on the problem while he slept, and eventually produced the answer. This shows something very powerful. Your subconscious mind is not just a storage system for memories. It is a creative partner that constantly works in the background of your life. When you learn to give it clear, positive instructions, it begins helping you find solutions, opportunities, and ideas that you may never have discovered consciously. The key lesson from this section of The Power of Your Subconscious Mind is simple but powerful. Your conscious mind chooses the thoughts, but your subconscious mind turns those thoughts into reality. If you want to change your life, you must first become aware of the thoughts you are repeatedly sending to your subconscious. Because once a thought is accepted by your subconscious mind, it does not stay a thought for long. It slowly begins shaping your actions, your decisions, and eventually the direction of your entire life.
Once you understand how the conscious and subconscious mind work together, the next step is realizing just how powerful the subconscious mind truly is. In this part of the book, Joseph Murphy explains that the subconscious mind is not just a passive storage system for thoughts. It is a powerful force that influences nearly every aspect of your life, including your habits, emotions, decisions, health, and even the opportunities you experience. The subconscious mind operates quietly in the background, but its influence is enormous. It controls many of the automatic processes of the body, such as breathing, heartbeat, digestion, and healing. You do not consciously command your heart to beat or your lungs to breathe while you sleep. Your subconscious mind manages all of these processes effortlessly. This alone shows how powerful and intelligent this deeper part of the mind truly is. But the subconscious mind does much more than control the body. According to Murphy, it also responds strongly to the ideas and beliefs that you repeatedly impress upon it. When a thought is repeated often enough, it gradually sinks into the subconscious mind and begins to shape the way you think, feel, and behave. Over time, these deeply planted ideas begin influencing the results you see in your life. This is why Murphy describes the subconscious mind as having a miracle-working power. The word miracle here does not mean something supernatural or mysterious. Instead, it refers to the incredible ability of the subconscious mind to transform a person's life when it is guided by the right beliefs. Many people unknowingly use this power in negative ways. For example, someone who constantly worries about illness may begin to notice every small discomfort in their body. Their mind becomes filled with fear and anxiety about their health. Over time, this constant stress can actually weaken the body and create real physical problems. In this way, negative thoughts slowly begin producing negative outcomes. On the other hand, Murphy shares many examples of people who improved their health by changing the thoughts they impressed upon their subconscious mind. Instead of constantly focusing on illness, they began imagining themselves healthy, strong, and full of energy. By repeating these positive ideas with belief and emotion, they gradually influence the subconscious mind to support the body's natural healing processes. One story in the book describes a woman who had struggled with severe anxiety for many years. She constantly believed that something terrible was about to happen to her. This belief had become deeply rooted in her subconscious mind, and it caused her to feel nervous and fearful almost every day. After learning about the power of the subconscious mind, she began practicing a simple mental exercise. Every night before sleeping, she quietly repeated positive statements about peace, safety, and confidence. At first, nothing seemed to change, but as the weeks passed, her mind slowly began to accept these new ideas. Gradually, her fear decreased, and she started feeling calmer and more in control of her life. This example illustrates an important principle. The subconscious mind responds strongly to repetition and belief. Whatever thoughts you consistently hold in your mind eventually become part of your subconscious programming. Once a belief settles there, it begins influencing your actions, emotions, and expectations without you even realizing it. Murphy emphasizes that the subconscious mind does not judge whether a thought is true or false. It simply accepts what it is given and works to bring that idea into expression. In this sense, the subconscious mind behaves like fertile soil. If you plant seeds of fear, doubt, and limitation, those seeds will grow into experiences that reflect those ideas. But if you plant seeds of confidence, success, and harmony, those seeds can grow into positive opportunities and outcomes. Another fascinating aspect of the subconscious mind is its ability to solve problems creatively. When you focus on a question or challenge before going to sleep, your subconscious mind can continue working on that problem during the night. Many artists, writers, scientists, and inventors have reported waking up with new ideas or solutions after allowing their subconscious mind time to process the problem. Murphy encourages readers to consciously use this ability. Instead of worrying endlessly about difficulties, you can calmly present a problem to your subconscious mind and trust it to find a solution. By doing this repeatedly, you begin developing a powerful partnership between your conscious and subconscious mind. The key message of this section is that the subconscious mind holds extraordinary creative power. It quietly shapes the direction of your life based on the beliefs you repeatedly impress upon it. When you learn to guide it with positive, constructive thoughts, it can begin working in ways that support success, health, confidence, and personal growth.
In other words, the same mind that can create limitations can also create transformation. The difference depends entirely on the ideas you choose to plant within it.
In this part of the book, Joseph Murphy begins exploring a fascinating question that has puzzled humanity for centuries. How have people throughout history experienced sudden healings that seemed almost miraculous? From ancient temples to religious shrines and spiritual traditions around the world, stories of people recovering from illness through faith and belief have existed for thousands of years. Murphy explains that while these events may appear mysterious, the real explanation often lies in the hidden power of the subconscious mind. Across different civilizations, whether in ancient Greece, Egypt, India, or other parts of the world, people visited sacred places hoping to find healing. They prayed, performed rituals, and placed deep faith in the belief that they would recover. In many cases, individuals who had suffered from illness for years suddenly began to improve after these experiences. To observers at the time, these recoveries appeared to be supernatural miracles. However, Murphy argues that the true mechanism behind many of these healings was psychological rather than mystical. When a person strongly believed that a powerful force could heal them, that belief reached deep into the subconscious mind. Once the subconscious mind accepted the idea of healing as truth, it began influencing the body in ways that supported recovery. In other words, the person's faith created a powerful mental suggestion that activated the natural healing ability already present within the body. To understand this better, Murphy compares the process to planting a powerful idea into the subconscious mind. When someone enters a sacred temple filled with symbols, music, prayer, and emotional energy, their mind becomes deeply receptive. Their conscious doubts begin to fade, and a strong belief in healing takes its place. At that moment, the subconscious mind accepts the idea that recovery is possible, and it begins working toward that outcome. Murphy also explains the difference between what he calls blind faith and scientific faith. Blind faith occurs when someone believes something simply because tradition or authority tells them to. Scientific faith, on the other hand, comes from understanding that the subconscious mind responds to belief and suggestion. When you realize that your thoughts influence your subconscious mind and that the subconscious mind influences the body, you begin to see why belief can produce powerful results. A simple real-life example can help illustrate this idea. Imagine a person who has been suffering from chronic headaches for years. After visiting many doctors without success, they begin to believe that nothing can help them. This belief itself becomes deeply rooted in their subconscious mind, reinforcing the condition. But one day, the person visits a place they believe strongly in, perhaps a spiritual center or healing temple. Surrounded by an atmosphere of hope and faith, they suddenly feel convinced that they will recover. This strong belief replaces the old negative belief. Over time, the headaches begin to disappear. To the person, it may feel like a miracle, but in reality, the change happened because a new belief was accepted by the subconscious mind. Murphy emphasizes that the important factor in these ancient healings was not necessarily the place, the ritual, or the ceremony itself. The real power came from the belief created within the mind of the individual. Once the subconscious mind accepted the idea of healing, the body responded accordingly. This understanding also reveals something very important. The same mental principle that worked in ancient temples can still work today. You do not need a sacred shrine or special ritual to influence your subconscious mind. What truly matters is the belief you impress upon it. When your mind becomes convinced of a positive outcome, the subconscious begins working to bring that outcome into reality. By examining the healing traditions of the past, Murphy shows that the power of the subconscious mind has always been present. People may have explained it through religion, spirituality, or miracles, but the underlying mechanism remained the same. The human mind, when filled with strong belief and expectation, can influence the body and shape experiences in remarkable ways. The lesson from this section is both simple and powerful.
Healing and transformation often begin not in the body, but in the mind. When a person replaces fear with belief and doubt with confidence, they activate the hidden potential of the subconscious mind. And once that deeper part of the mind accepts the idea of healing, it begins guiding the body toward recovery in ways that may seem almost miraculous.
After discussing healing practices from ancient civilizations, Joseph Murphy shifts the focus to modern times and explains that the same mental principles still operate today. Even in an age of science, technology, and advanced medicine, countless cases show how belief and mental suggestion can influence the body's ability to heal. According to Murphy, the subconscious mind has not changed with time. It continues to respond to belief, emotion, and suggestion in exactly the same way it did thousands of years ago. In modern society, people often think of healing only in terms of physical medicine. While medicine and medical science play an extremely important role, Murphy explains that the mind also plays a powerful part in the healing process. Doctors themselves have observed situations where two patients receive the same treatment for the same illness, yet one recovers quickly while the other struggles to improve. One possible reason for this difference is the patient's mental state. A person who strongly believes they will recover often activates positive responses within the body, while someone who constantly fears the worst may unknowingly slow down the healing process. Murphy discusses how many modern healers, therapists, and practitioners use the principle of suggestion to influence the subconscious mind. When a person deeply trusts the person who is helping them, whether it is a doctor, counselor, or spiritual guide, their mind becomes more receptive to positive suggestions. Words such as, "you are improving," "your body is becoming stronger," or "you will recover soon," can gradually enter the subconscious mind and begin changing the person's internal beliefs. One interesting method Murphy mentions is something called absent treatment. This idea suggests that thoughts directed toward another person can influence their subconscious mind even when they are not physically present. While this concept may sound unusual, Murphy explains that it works through focused intention and belief. When someone sincerely holds a positive image of another person being healthy, peaceful, and strong, that thought can act as a powerful suggestion. To illustrate this idea, Murphy shares examples of people who prayed or mentally visualized healing for loved ones who were far away. In some cases, the person receiving the treatment reported feeling calmer, stronger, or suddenly more hopeful without even knowing someone was focusing positive thoughts on them. Murphy does not claim that this replaces medical treatment, but he suggests that the mind can influence emotional and physical well-being in ways that science is still trying to fully understand. A simple modern example can help explain this principle. Imagine a child who falls and hurts their knee while playing. The child begins crying loudly because they believe the pain is serious. But when a parent calmly says, "You're okay, it's just a small scratch," the child often stops crying quickly. The reassurance changes the child's mental interpretation of the situation, and suddenly the pain feels much smaller. This simple moment shows how suggestion can influence the mind and body almost instantly. Murphy explains that the subconscious mind responds strongly to authority and emotional conviction. When a person trusts the source of a suggestion, the mind becomes more open to accepting it as truth. Once the subconscious mind accepts the idea of healing, it begins influencing the body's natural processes to support recovery. Another important idea Murphy highlights is that the subconscious mind constantly seeks harmony and balance within the body. When negative emotions such as fear, anger, or constant stress dominate a person's thinking, the body may respond with tension and discomfort. But when the mind begins focusing on calmness, confidence, and health, the body often responds by moving toward a more balanced state.
This is why Murphy emphasizes that positive mental suggestions are not just motivational phrases. When repeated with belief and emotion, they gradually become instructions for the subconscious mind. Over time, these instructions can influence habits, emotional patterns, and even physical well-being. The main message of this section is that mental healing is not limited to ancient temples or spiritual rituals. The same principles continue to work in modern life because they are based on the natural functioning of the human mind. Whether through prayer, positive suggestion, visualization, or calm belief, the subconscious mind responds to the ideas that are impressed upon it. When people learn to consciously guide their thoughts toward health, confidence, and harmony, they begin using a powerful mental tool that has existed within them all along. The mind and body are deeply connected, and by understanding this connection, a person can begin supporting their own healing and well-being in a much more powerful way.
After explaining how belief and suggestion influence the subconscious mind, Joseph Murphy moves to one of the most practical parts of the book. Instead of only discussing theory, he begins sharing simple techniques that anyone can use to communicate with their subconscious mind. These techniques are designed to help a person replace negative beliefs with positive ones and allow the subconscious mind to begin working toward healing, confidence, and success. Murphy explains that the subconscious mind is most receptive when the conscious mind becomes calm and relaxed. When the mind is filled with stress, doubt, or constant thinking, it becomes difficult for new ideas to reach the subconscious level. But when the mind relaxes, the barrier between the conscious and subconscious mind becomes weaker. This is why many powerful mental changes happen during moments of deep relaxation or just before sleep. One technique Murphy discusses is known as the passivity technique. The idea behind this method is very simple. A person sits quietly, relaxes the body, and allows the mind to become calm. In this relaxed state, they begin repeating a positive idea related to the result they want. For example, someone who is struggling with stress might quietly repeat the words, "Peace fills my mind and body." The key is not to force the thought, but to allow it to flow naturally while the body remains relaxed. Over time, this repeated suggestion begins to enter the subconscious mind. As the subconscious accepts the idea of peace, it starts influencing emotional reactions and mental habits. Gradually, the person begins feeling calmer and more balanced in situations that previously caused anxiety. Another powerful method Murphy explains is the visualization technique. This technique involves creating a clear mental image of the desired result as if it has already happened. Instead of focusing on the problem, the person focuses on the outcome they wish to experience. For example, imagine someone who wants to succeed in an important job interview. Instead of repeatedly worrying about failure, they take a few minutes each day to visualize themselves walking out of the interview room feeling confident and satisfied. They imagine shaking hands with the interviewer and hearing the words, "You did an excellent job." By repeatedly imagining this positive outcome, they plant the idea of success into their subconscious mind. Murphy explains that the subconscious mind responds strongly to images and emotions. When a mental picture is repeated with strong feeling, the subconscious mind begins accepting it as a future reality. Over time, this belief influences the person's behavior, confidence, and decisions, increasing the chances of achieving that outcome. Another interesting technique discussed in the book is called the Baudouin technique. This method works best when a person is in a sleepy or drowsy state, such as the moments just before falling asleep. During this time, the conscious mind becomes quieter and the subconscious mind becomes more open to suggestion.
In this technique, a person repeats a short phrase related to their goal in a calm and rhythmic way, almost like a lullaby. For example, someone who wants better health might slowly repeat a phrase such as, "Every day I am becoming healthier and stronger." By repeating this phrase gently and without tension, the idea gradually sinks into the subconscious mind. Murphy also talks about something he calls the thank you technique. This method is based on the idea that gratitude strengthens belief. Instead of constantly worrying about whether something will happen, a person begins thanking life for the result as if it has already been received. For example, someone hoping to improve their financial situation might quietly say, "I am grateful for the abundance flowing into my life." This feeling of gratitude creates a powerful emotional signal that the subconscious mind accepts as truth. Over time, this belief influences the person's decisions, opportunities, and actions in ways that support financial improvement. Murphy emphasizes that these techniques are not magic formulas that produce instant results. They work through repetition and belief. Just as negative thoughts slowly create negative habits over time, positive mental suggestions gradually create positive changes. Many people give up too quickly because they expect immediate transformation. But Murphy reminds readers that the subconscious mind works like a garden. Seeds must be planted, watered, and given time to grow. When a person consistently plants positive thoughts and mental images, the subconscious mind eventually begins producing results that match those ideas. The main lesson of this section is that the power of the subconscious mind becomes truly useful when a person learns how to communicate with it deliberately. Through relaxation, visualization, repetition, and gratitude, anyone can begin guiding their subconscious mind toward healthier beliefs and better outcomes. In simple terms, these techniques provide a bridge between the conscious mind that chooses thoughts and the subconscious mind that transforms those thoughts into reality. When that bridge is used consistently, it can slowly begin changing the direction of a person's life.
In this chapter, Joseph Murphy introduces a very comforting and powerful idea. The subconscious mind naturally moves in the direction of life, growth, and harmony. He calls this the lifeward tendency of the subconscious mind. In simple words, your subconscious mind is always trying to protect you, heal you, and guide you toward a healthier and more balanced life. To understand this idea, think about how the body heals itself. If you accidentally cut your finger, you do not consciously command your body to repair the wound. Yet within a few days, the skin begins to close, new cells form, and the injury slowly disappears. This process happens automatically because the intelligence of the subconscious mind is constantly working to restore balance in the body. The same principle applies not only to physical healing, but also to mental and emotional well-being. Deep within you, there is a natural tendency toward peace, stability, and growth. The subconscious mind is designed to support life, not destroy it. However, Murphy explains that negative thoughts, fears, and destructive beliefs can interfere with this natural process. When a person constantly fills their mind with worry, anger, jealousy, or hopelessness, those thoughts act like obstacles that block the natural flow of the subconscious mind. Instead of allowing the mind to work in a healthy direction, these repeated negative ideas create tension and imbalance. Over time, this mental conflict can affect both emotional health and physical well-being. Murphy emphasizes that the subconscious mind itself is not negative or destructive. It simply follows the instructions given to it by the conscious mind.
If a person repeatedly tells themselves that they are weak, unlucky, or incapable, the subconscious mind begins organizing thoughts and behaviors in ways that reflect those beliefs. But if the person begins feeding the mind with positive and constructive ideas, the subconscious mind naturally moves toward improvement and harmony. A simple story can help explain this concept. Imagine a young student who struggles with mathematics in school. After failing a few tests, the student begins believing, "I'm just not good at math." This belief slowly becomes fixed in the subconscious mind. Because of this belief, the student feels anxious during math class, avoids practicing problems, and assumes failure even before trying. Over time, their performance continues to decline, reinforcing the belief that they cannot succeed. But suppose a teacher encourages the student with patience and confidence, repeatedly telling them, "You are capable of learning this, you just need practice." Gradually, the student begins replacing the old belief with a new one. As the subconscious mind accepts the idea that improvement is possible, the student becomes more willing to practice and less afraid of making mistakes. Slowly, their performance begins to improve. In this situation, the subconscious mind simply followed whichever belief was strongest. When the belief was negative, it created limitation. When the belief became positive, it supported growth. Murphy explains that this lifeward tendency means the subconscious mind always tries to express health, creativity, and success whenever it is given the right instructions. Just as a plant naturally grows towards sunlight, the subconscious mind naturally moves toward positive expression when it is not blocked by fear or doubt. Another example can be seen in how people recover from emotional setbacks. Someone who experiences failure or disappointment may initially feel discouraged, but if they continue nurturing thoughts of hope, learning, and determination, their subconscious mind gradually helps them regain confidence and motivation. Over time, they begin taking new actions and discovering new opportunities. The key message Murphy wants readers to understand is that they are not fighting against their subconscious mind. They're working with it. The mind is already designed to support life and growth. The real task is simply to remove the negative beliefs that interfere with this natural process. When you consistently feed your subconscious mind with ideas of health, confidence, success, and harmony, you align your conscious thinking with the natural lifeward tendency of the mind. Once this alignment happens, the subconscious mind begins working more powerfully in your favor. In other words, the mind that once seemed to create obstacles can become one of the greatest allies in your life. By choosing your thoughts carefully, you allow the subconscious mind to do what it was always designed to do: support your growth, protect your well-being, and guide you toward a more fulfilling life. After explaining how the subconscious mind naturally moves toward growth and harmony, Joseph Murphy begins discussing a question many people struggle with. Why do some people try very hard to achieve something, yet still fail to get the results they want? According to Murphy, the problem is often not lack of effort, but the way the mind approaches the goal. One of the most important ideas introduced in this chapter is something called the law of reversed effort. This principle explains that when a person tries too hard or becomes overly anxious about achieving something, their intense effort can actually create the opposite result. In other words, the harder the conscious mind pushes with fear or tension, the more resistance it creates within the subconscious mind. To understand this, imagine someone who is trying desperately to fall asleep at night. They keep telling themselves, "I must sleep now. I have to sleep." The more they force themselves to sleep, the more awake and frustrated they become. Their conscious mind is pushing too hard, and this tension prevents the subconscious mind from naturally taking over the process of sleep. Murphy explains that many people approach their goals in the same way. When they want success, money, or a solution to a problem, they constantly worry about whether it will happen. They repeatedly think about failure, obstacles, and worst-case scenarios. Even though they consciously want success, the emotional tension and fear they feel send the opposite message to the subconscious mind. This inner conflict creates what Murphy describes as mental resistance. The conscious mind says, "I want to succeed," but the emotional belief underneath may say, "What if I fail?" Because the subconscious mind responds strongly to emotions and belief, it often reacts more to the fear than to the desire. Murphy explains that the key to achieving results is not force, but mental relaxation and confidence. When the mind is calm and free from anxiety, the subconscious mind can begin working naturally toward the desired outcome. Instead of struggling against the problem, the person allows the subconscious mind to guide them toward a solution. A simple story helps illustrate this idea. Imagine a student preparing for an important exam. One student spends weeks studying, but constantly tells themselves, "If I fail this test, everything will go wrong." The fear becomes so strong that during the exam, their mind goes blank, even though they studied the material well. Another student prepares in a calmer way. They study consistently, but they also remind themselves that they are capable and prepared. On the day of the exam, their mind remains relaxed and focused. Because they are not overwhelmed by fear, they are able to recall the information clearly and perform better. Both students put in effort, but their mental state was different. The first student's anxiety created resistance, while the second student's calm confidence allowed the mind to function effectively. Murphy encourages readers to approach their goals with trust rather than tension. When you clearly decide what you want and plant that idea in your subconscious mind through belief and visualization, you do not need to constantly force the outcome. Instead, you allow the subconscious mind to guide your thoughts and actions in the right direction. Another helpful practice Murphy suggests is replacing worry with constructive thinking. Whenever a negative thought about failure appears, the person can consciously replace it with a calm affirmation or a positive mental image of success. Over time, this repetition helps the subconscious mind accept the new belief. Murphy emphasizes that the subconscious mind responds best when the conscious mind stops fighting against the problem. Just as water flows smoothly when there are no obstacles in its path, the creative power of the subconscious mind works most effectively when the mind is relaxed and confident. The main lesson from this chapter is that success does not come from constant struggle or fear. It comes from aligning your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions in the same direction. When the conscious mind clearly chooses a goal and the subconscious mind accepts it without resistance, the two parts of the mind begin working together. And when that cooperation happens, the results you want often begin appearing more naturally than you ever expected.
In this chapter, Joseph Murphy begins discussing one of the most misunderstood topics in personal development: money and wealth. Many people believe that financial success is determined only by education, luck, or external opportunities. While these factors can certainly influence a person's life, Murphy explains that a deeper and often overlooked factor is the belief system stored in the subconscious mind. According to Murphy, many individuals unknowingly develop what he calls a poverty consciousness. This does not necessarily mean they are poor, but it means their thinking is dominated by fear of lack, limitation, and financial struggle. When someone constantly says things like, "Money is hard to earn," "Rich people are dishonest," or "I will never be financially successful," these thoughts slowly settle into the subconscious mind. Over time, the subconscious mind begins shaping behavior and decisions that match those beliefs. For example,
A person with a poverty mindset may avoid taking opportunities because they fear failure. They might hesitate to start a business, ask for a promotion, or invest in learning new skills. Even when opportunities appear, their subconscious beliefs may cause them to doubt themselves or assume that success is meant for others, not for them. Murphy explains that the subconscious mind always tries to express the ideas that have been planted within it. If a person consistently thinks about lack, financial stress, and scarcity, the subconscious mind organizes thoughts and behaviors in ways that reinforce those conditions. But if a person gradually develops a wealth consciousness, the mind begins moving in a completely different direction. Wealth consciousness does not mean greed or obsession with money. Instead, it means believing that prosperity, growth, and opportunity are natural parts of life. A person who develops this mindset sees money as a tool that allows them to live comfortably, support their family, and contribute positively to society. Murphy also explains that jealousy toward wealthy people can silently block financial progress. When someone feels anger or resentment toward those who are successful, they are indirectly telling their subconscious mind that wealth is something negative or undesirable. As a result, the mind creates resistance toward achieving it. To overcome this mental barrier, Murphy suggests replacing jealousy with appreciation. When you see someone achieving financial success, instead of criticizing them, you can mentally wish them continued prosperity. This simple shift removes negative emotional resistance and allows your subconscious mind to accept the idea that success is positive and achievable. A simple story illustrates this idea well. Imagine two friends who start working at the same company. One of them is promoted after a few years due to strong performance and leadership skills. The first friend becomes bitter and constantly complains that the promotion was unfair. He begins focusing on the idea that the system is against him. Over time, this negative thinking reduces his motivation and performance. The second friend reacts differently. Instead of becoming jealous, he congratulates his colleague and begins asking himself what skills he can improve to grow in his own career. His mindset remains positive and focused on progress. Because of this attitude, he becomes more motivated, learns new skills, and eventually earns his own opportunities for advancement. Both individuals faced the same situation, but their mental responses created different outcomes. One allowed resentment to limit his growth, while the other used a positive mindset to move forward. Murphy also emphasizes the importance of repeating positive financial affirmations to influence the subconscious mind. Simple statements such as, "Wealth flows freely into my life," or "I am open to new opportunities for prosperity," can gradually replace old beliefs about limitation. The key is to repeat these ideas calmly and consistently, allowing them to become part of your subconscious thinking. Over time, these new beliefs begin influencing daily decisions, attitudes, and actions. A person with a wealth mindset becomes more alert to opportunities, more confident in their abilities, and more willing to take constructive risks. The central lesson of this chapter is that financial success often begins with a change in thinking. When the subconscious mind accepts the belief that prosperity is natural and achievable, it begins guiding the individual toward behaviors and opportunities that support that belief. In other words, wealth does not start in the bank, it starts in the mind. And when the mind changes its beliefs about abundance, the direction of a person's financial life can slowly begin to change as well. In this chapter, Joseph Murphy presents a bold and thought-provoking idea. Every person has the natural right to live a life of abundance, comfort, and prosperity. According to Murphy, many people grow up believing that wanting wealth is selfish or morally wrong. Because of this belief, they unconsciously reject opportunities for financial success, even while consciously wishing for a better life. Murphy argues that poverty should not be seen as a virtue. While humility and simplicity can be admirable qualities, constant financial struggle often creates stress, limitation, and unnecessary hardship. When a person lacks basic resources, it becomes difficult to focus on personal growth, creativity, or helping others. For this reason, Murphy believes that living in abundance allows individuals to express their full potential and contribute more positively to society. The problem, however, is that many people carry hidden beliefs in their subconscious mind that associate wealth with guilt or negativity. Some may think that wealthy people are greedy or dishonest. Others may feel that they do not deserve financial success. When these ideas become deeply rooted in the subconscious mind, they quietly influence decisions and behavior. For example, a person might receive an opportunity for a higher-paying job, but hesitate to apply because they believe they are not capable enough. Another person might start a promising business, but unconsciously sabotage their progress because they feel uncomfortable with the idea of becoming wealthy. These actions often appear logical on the surface, but Murphy suggests they are actually driven by subconscious beliefs about money and success. Murphy encourages readers to change their relationship with wealth by recognizing that prosperity is a natural part of life. Just as nature produces abundance in forests, oceans, and fields, the same principle of growth and expansion exists in human life as well. When people align their thinking with this principle, they begin seeing wealth not as something to fear, but as something to manage responsibly and use wisely. A simple example can illustrate this idea. Imagine a talented artist who has spent years creating beautiful paintings but feels uncomfortable selling their work for a fair price. Deep down, the artist believes that asking for money makes their art less pure or meaningful. Because of this belief, they continue struggling financially even though their work is valuable. One day, the artist meets a mentor who explains that receiving fair compensation for creative work is not selfish. It simply allows the artist to continue creating and sharing their talent with the world. Gradually, the artist begins changing their mindset and starts valuing their work appropriately. As their confidence grows, more people begin recognizing and purchasing their art. The talent was always there, but the shift in belief allowed the artist to experience financial growth. Murphy also explains that wealth should not be pursued with desperation or anxiety. When a person becomes obsessed with money or fears losing it constantly, they create mental tension that blocks the natural flow of prosperity. Instead, Murphy encourages people to focus on developing their skills, contributing value to others, and maintaining a positive mindset about abundance. Another important principle in this chapter is the idea that prosperity grows when it benefits not only the individual, but also others. True success often comes when a person's work helps solve problems, improve lives, or provide useful services. When prosperity is connected with positive contribution, it becomes more meaningful and sustainable. Murphy suggests practicing daily affirmations that reinforce the idea of abundance. Statements such as, "I deserve to live in prosperity," or "I use wealth wisely and positively," can gradually reshape the beliefs stored in the subconscious mind. Over time, these ideas begin replacing old thoughts of limitation or guilt. The key message of this chapter is that prosperity is not something reserved for a few lucky individuals. Every person has the ability to develop a mindset that supports growth and abundance. When the subconscious mind accepts the idea that success and prosperity are natural and positive, it begins guiding the person toward opportunities and decisions that support that belief. In simple terms, Murphy reminds readers that wealth itself is not the problem. The real issue lies in the beliefs we hold about it. When those beliefs change, a person can begin experiencing prosperity in a healthier, more balanced way, without guilt, fear, or limitation. In this chapter, Joseph Murphy explains that success is not something achieved by effort alone. True and lasting success happens when the conscious mind and the subconscious mind work together as partners. When these two parts of the mind are aligned toward the same goal, a person's actions, decisions, and opportunities begin moving in a powerful and coordinated direction. Many people set goals for success, but at the same time, they carry hidden doubts inside their subconscious mind. A person might consciously say, "I want to succeed in my career," but deep inside, they may believe that success is difficult, risky, or meant only for others. This internal conflict weakens their progress because the subconscious mind quietly resists the goal. Murphy explains that the subconscious mind becomes a powerful partner when it fully accepts the idea of success. Once it does, it begins guiding a person's thinking and behavior in ways that support that goal. New ideas begin appearing, confidence increases, and opportunities become easier to recognize. According to Murphy, there are 3 essential steps to achieving success, and each step involves the cooperation of the subconscious mind. The first step is finding what you truly love to do. Success becomes much easier when a person is deeply interested in their work. When someone enjoys what they are doing, they naturally invest more time, energy, and creativity into improving their skills. The subconscious mind responds strongly to passion and enthusiasm because these emotions reinforce positive belief. The second step is specializing and becoming excellent in that field. Murphy explains that once you discover what you enjoy doing, you should focus on becoming highly skilled in that area. This requires learning, practice, and continuous improvement. When the subconscious mind accepts the belief that you are capable of mastering a skill, it begins supporting that belief by strengthening concentration, motivation, and persistence. The third step is ensuring that your success benefits other people as well. Murphy emphasizes that true success often comes when a person's work contributes something valuable to society. When your skills help solve problems, improve lives, or provide useful services, success becomes more meaningful and sustainable. To illustrate this idea, imagine a young woman who enjoys teaching children. At first, she simply tutors a few students in her neighborhood. Because she genuinely loves helping them learn, she spends extra time preparing lessons and finding creative ways to explain difficult topics. Over time, her students begin improving significantly in their studies. Word spreads among parents, and more families ask for her help. Eventually, she starts a small learning center where she teaches dozens of students. Her success did not happen because she chased money directly. It happened because she followed her interests, developed her skills, and provided real value to others. Murphy explains that in situations like this, the subconscious mind becomes an active partner. It helps generate new ideas, creative solutions, and motivation. When challenges appear, the subconscious mind continues working in the background, helping the person find ways to overcome obstacles. Another important point Murphy highlights is the role of positive belief. When a person repeatedly tells themselves that they are capable, skilled, and improving, the subconscious mind begins accepting that identity. Over time, this belief influences behavior in powerful ways. The person becomes more confident, more persistent, and more willing to take constructive risks. On the other hand, if someone constantly repeats thoughts such as, "I'm not talented enough," or "success is not for me," the subconscious mind may reinforce those beliefs by reducing motivation and confidence. Murphy reminds readers that success is rarely an accident. It is often the result of consistent thoughts, beliefs, and actions working together in the same direction. When the subconscious mind becomes convinced that success is natural and achievable, it begins guiding a person toward behaviors that support that belief. The central lesson of this chapter is that success does not come from effort alone. It comes from cooperation between the conscious and subconscious mind. When your goals, beliefs, and actions are aligned, your mind becomes one of your greatest allies. And when the subconscious mind truly becomes your partner, it begins helping you move steadily toward the life you want to create.
In this chapter, Joseph Murphy explains that the power of the subconscious mind is not limited to spirituality or personal motivation. In fact, many great scientists, inventors, and thinkers throughout history have unknowingly used the subconscious mind to make important discoveries and solve complex problems. Murphy points out that scientific breakthroughs often occur not when a person is actively struggling to find an answer, but when the mind becomes relaxed and open. After spending hours or even days thinking about a difficult problem, a scientist may suddenly experience a moment of insight, a clear idea that seems to appear almost instantly. Murphy suggests that these sudden ideas are often the result of the subconscious mind working quietly in the background. The conscious mind gathers information, studies the problem, and tries different approaches. But the subconscious mind continues processing that information long after the conscious mind stops actively thinking about it. When the subconscious finally connects the pieces together, it sends the solution back to the conscious mind as a sudden realization. History provides many fascinating examples of this process. One famous story involves the inventor, Thomas Edison. Edison was known for working intensely on scientific problems, but he also believed strongly in the power of imagination and quiet thinking. When he struggled to solve a technical issue, he sometimes relaxed his mind or took short breaks. During these moments of relaxation, new ideas often appeared that helped him move forward with his inventions. Another well-known example is Nikola Tesla, the brilliant engineer and inventor. Tesla often described how he could visualize entire machines in his mind before building them in reality. He would imagine the parts moving, the mechanisms working together, and the entire system operating smoothly. By the time he physically created the machine, the design had already been developed in his mind. Murphy explains that these examples show how the subconscious mind can act as a creative partner in problem solving. When a person studies a problem deeply and then allows the mind to relax, the subconscious mind continues searching for connections and solutions. A simple everyday example can help illustrate this idea. Imagine someone trying to remember a name that they suddenly forgot. They think about it for several minutes but cannot recall it. Eventually, they stop trying and move on to another activity. Then, unexpectedly, the name suddenly pops into their mind later in the day. This happens because the subconscious mind continued searching for the information even after the conscious mind stopped focusing on it. Murphy also explains that the subconscious mind becomes more effective when a person trusts its ability to provide solutions. When someone believes that the answer will eventually appear, they create a relaxed mental environment that allows the subconscious mind to work freely. On the other hand, when a person becomes frustrated or anxious about a problem, the tension in their mind may actually block creative thinking. This is similar to the principle discussed earlier in the book about the law of reversed effort. Forcing the mind too hard can prevent solutions from appearing. Murphy encourages readers to use this principle in their own lives. When facing a difficult decision or complex problem, a person can study the situation carefully and gather all the necessary information. Then, instead of worrying constantly about the answer, they can allow their mind to relax and trust the subconscious process. Sometimes the solution may appear during a quiet moment, while walking, resting, or even waking up from sleep. The subconscious mind has been working on the problem the entire time. The main lesson of this chapter is that the subconscious mind is not only a storehouse of memories and beliefs, it is also a powerful source of creativity and insight. Many of the world's greatest discoveries and inventions were influenced by ideas that emerged from the deeper levels of the mind. When people learn to trust this inner intelligence and give it space to work, they can access a powerful resource for solving problems, generating ideas, and creating innovative solutions. In simple terms, the subconscious mind is not just reacting to life, it is constantly helping shape it in ways we may not even realize.
In this chapter, Joseph Murphy explains that sleep is not just a time for physical rest. It is also a powerful period when the subconscious mind continues working actively. While the conscious mind becomes quiet during sleep, the subconscious mind remains fully awake,
processing thoughts, solving problems, and organizing information. Murphy emphasizes that many people underestimate the importance of sleep for mental clarity and emotional balance. When a person sleeps well, the subconscious mind uses that time to restore energy, repair the body, and bring balance to the mind. This is why people often feel refreshed and more focused after a good night's rest. One interesting idea Murphy discusses is that the subconscious mind can help solve problems during sleep. When a person spends time thinking about a question or challenge before going to bed, the subconscious mind continues working on it throughout the night. Sometimes the solution appears the next morning as a clear thought or a new perspective. Many writers, scientists, and inventors have experienced this phenomenon. After struggling with a problem for a long time, they go to sleep without finding the answer. Then, during the night or early the next morning, the solution suddenly appears in their mind. According to Murphy, this happens because the subconscious mind continued processing the problem while the conscious mind was resting. A simple, everyday example can make this idea easier to understand. Imagine a student trying to solve a difficult math problem late at night. After trying repeatedly, they become tired and decide to sleep. The next morning, when they look at the problem again, the solution suddenly seems much clearer. The mind feels fresh, and the answer appears easier to understand. Murphy also explains that the thoughts we carry into sleep can influence the way the subconscious mind works during the night. If a person goes to bed feeling anxious, angry, or worried, those emotions may continue influencing the mind during sleep. On the other hand, if someone enters sleep with calm and positive thoughts, the subconscious mind works in a more balanced and constructive way. For this reason, Murphy suggests developing a simple mental habit before sleeping. Instead of ending the day with worry or negative thinking, a person can spend a few quiet moments focusing on positive ideas. They may visualize a goal they want to achieve, think about something they are grateful for, or calmly affirm that solutions and opportunities are coming into their life. This practice gently communicates with the subconscious mind at a moment when it is becoming highly receptive. The ideas planted just before sleep often sink deeper into the subconscious and influence the mind throughout the night. Murphy also describes sleep as a time when people can receive what he calls inner guidance. When the mind is relaxed and free from constant distraction, it becomes easier for intuitive insights to appear. These insights may come as sudden ideas, new perspectives, or a feeling of clarity about an important decision. However, Murphy reminds readers that this process works best when a person trusts their subconscious mind instead of constantly doubting it. When people believe that their mind can help them find answers, they create a mental environment where creativity and intuition can emerge naturally. The central message of this chapter is that sleep is not wasted time. It is an important period of mental activity and renewal. During sleep, the subconscious mind continues working for the benefit of the body and mind. When people learn to respect this process and enter sleep with calm and constructive thoughts, they allow their subconscious mind to work more effectively. Over time, this simple habit can improve mental clarity, emotional balance, and even the ability to solve problems more creatively. In other words, while the body rests at night, the subconscious mind quietly continues shaping the thoughts and solutions that influence the next day.
In this chapter, Joseph Murphy shifts the focus from success and wealth to something equally important: human relationships. He explains that many relationship problems, especially in marriage, are not created by external circumstances alone. Instead, they often begin with the thoughts, expectations, and beliefs that individuals carry in their subconscious mind. According to Murphy, the subconscious mind plays a powerful role in shaping the kind of relationships we experience.
The beliefs we hold about love, trust, and partnership quietly influence how we behave with others and the kind of people we attract into our lives. If a person constantly believes that relationships lead to disappointment or conflict, those expectations may slowly influence their behavior. They may become overly defensive, suspicious, or emotionally distant. Over time, these attitudes can create tension in the relationship even if the other person initially had positive intentions. Murphy explains that many marital conflicts begin with small, negative thoughts that are repeated over time. When someone constantly focuses on a partner's mistakes or weaknesses, those thoughts gradually strengthen negative emotions, such as resentment or frustration. The subconscious mind absorbs these ideas and begins reinforcing the same emotional patterns. However, Murphy also emphasizes that the same mental power can be used to improve and strengthen relationships. When a person consciously chooses thoughts of kindness, appreciation, and understanding, these ideas slowly influence their subconscious mind and change the emotional tone of the relationship. For example, imagine a couple that has been arguing frequently about small issues. One partner begins focusing only on the negative aspects of the relationship, constantly thinking about what the other person is doing wrong. As these thoughts repeat, their frustration grows, and every small disagreement turns into a larger conflict. Now imagine that the same person decides to change their mental focus. Instead of constantly thinking about the partner's flaws, they begin remembering the qualities they once appreciated: kindness, support, or shared experiences. They begin responding with patience instead of immediate criticism. This small shift in thinking gradually changes the emotional atmosphere between the two people. When one person becomes calmer and more understanding, it often encourages the other person to respond in a similar way. Over time, the relationship begins to regain balance. Murphy also discusses the idea that people often attract partners who reflect their own subconscious beliefs. If someone believes that healthy relationships are possible and approaches love with trust and respect, they are more likely to create a stable partnership. But if they carry deep fears of betrayal or rejection, those fears may influence their choices and behavior in ways that create conflict. Another important message in this chapter is the importance of mutual respect and emotional understanding. Murphy explains that strong relationships are not built by trying to control or change the other person completely. Instead, they grow when both individuals learn to appreciate differences and communicate with patience. He also suggests that people can use the subconscious mind to strengthen their relationships by mentally focusing on harmony and goodwill. Simple thoughts such as wishing happiness, peace, and success for a partner can gradually influence the emotional environment of the relationship. Murphy reminds readers that relationships are deeply connected to the patterns of thinking stored in the subconscious mind. When those patterns are filled with criticism, fear, or resentment, conflict becomes more likely. But when the mind is trained to focus on understanding, kindness, and cooperation, relationships often become more balanced and supportive. The central lesson of this chapter is that improving a relationship often begins with improving the thoughts we carry within ourselves. By changing the ideas we repeatedly send to the subconscious mind, we can gradually change the way we respond to others. And when those internal changes begin to appear in daily interactions, relationships that once seemed difficult can slowly move toward greater harmony and understanding.
In this chapter, Joseph Murphy explains that happiness is not something that only comes from external success, money, or favorable circumstances. According to him, happiness is largely a mental habit, and like any habit, it can be developed and strengthened through the way a person thinks and responds to life. Murphy observes that many people believe they will finally become happy once certain conditions are met, when they earn more money, find the perfect job, or achieve a particular goal. While these things can certainly bring satisfaction, he explains that true and lasting happiness does not depend entirely on external situations. Instead, it is strongly influenced by the thoughts and beliefs stored in the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind constantly responds to the ideas we repeat. If someone repeatedly focuses on problems, disappointments, and negative expectations, the subconscious mind begins reinforcing those emotions. Over time, the person may develop a general outlook that expects frustration or unhappiness. On the other hand, when a person consciously chooses thoughts of appreciation, hope, and optimism, the subconscious mind gradually accepts those ideas as well. This process slowly shapes a more positive emotional pattern. Murphy explains that happiness often begins with a daily decision. Instead of waiting for perfect circumstances, a person can choose to focus on the aspects of life that are meaningful, constructive, and encouraging. By doing this consistently, the subconscious mind begins supporting this mindset and reinforcing positive emotional responses. A simple story can illustrate this idea clearly. Imagine two coworkers who experience the same stressful workday. Both face deadlines, unexpected problems, and pressure from their manager. The first person spends the entire day focusing on everything that went wrong. They repeatedly think about how unfair the situation is and carry that frustration home with them. By the end of the day, their mind is filled with stress and negativity. The second person faces the same challenges but chooses to approach them differently. While acknowledging the difficulties, they also focus on what they managed to accomplish during the day. They remind themselves that challenges are temporary and that tomorrow offers another opportunity to improve. Even though both individuals experience the same situation, their mental response created two completely different emotional outcomes. Murphy also points out that people sometimes become trapped in what he calls an unhappy personality pattern. This happens when someone becomes so accustomed to negative thinking that it feels normal to expect disappointment. Over time, the subconscious mind strengthens this pattern, making it difficult to see positive possibilities. However, Murphy emphasizes that this pattern can be changed. By gradually replacing negative thoughts with more constructive ones, a person can begin reshaping the emotional habits stored in the subconscious mind. One simple method Murphy suggests is starting the day with a positive intention. A person might begin the morning by calmly reminding themselves that they choose peace, productivity, and happiness throughout the day. This small mental practice influences the subconscious mind and prepares it to respond more positively to daily situations. Murphy also highlights the importance of gratitude. When people regularly acknowledge the good aspects of their lives, whether it is supportive relationships, personal abilities, or simple daily comforts, they shift their attention away from constant dissatisfaction. The subconscious mind then strengthens this habit of appreciation. Another key idea in this chapter is that happiness often grows when people contribute positively to others. Acts of kindness, encouragement, and support create a sense of purpose that naturally improves emotional well-being. The central lesson Murphy presents is that happiness is not merely the result of external success. Instead, it is deeply connected to the mental patterns stored in the subconscious mind. When a person consistently chooses thoughts of appreciation, hope, and goodwill, those ideas gradually shape the emotional tone of their life. Over time, happiness becomes less dependent on circumstances and more rooted in a balanced and positive state of mind. In simple terms, Murphy reminds readers that happiness is not something we accidentally discover. It is something we gradually create through the thoughts we choose to repeat each day.
In this part of the power of your subconscious mind, Joseph Murphy explains something very important about human relationships. Many people believe that problems with others are caused entirely by the behavior of other people. They blame coworkers, family members, friends, or society for the tension and conflict in their lives. But according to Murphy, the real source of many relationship problems begins much deeper, inside our own subconscious mind. The subconscious mind stores not only beliefs about ourselves, but also beliefs about other people. If someone constantly thinks that others are selfish, dishonest, or untrustworthy, those thoughts slowly become emotional patterns within the subconscious. Over time, these inner expectations begin shaping how that person behaves and reacts in relationships. Without realizing it, they may become defensive, suspicious, or distant toward others. Because of this attitude, people around them may respond with the same negativity, which then seems to confirm the belief that others cannot be trusted. What actually happens is that the person's subconscious expectations quietly influence the entire interaction.
In other words, the beliefs stored inside the mind often shape the kind of relationships we experience in the outer world. Joseph Murphy explains that if we want peaceful and healthy relationships, we must first develop harmony within our own minds. The subconscious mind responds strongly to feelings such as resentment, anger, jealousy, and hatred. When these emotions are repeatedly held in the mind, they create inner tension that eventually appears in relationships with other people. To illustrate this idea, Murphy shares a simple but powerful example. Imagine someone who constantly complains about a coworker. Every day they repeat thoughts like, "He always tries to undermine me," or "She never respects my work." These thoughts slowly become deeply rooted in the subconscious mind. As a result, whenever the person sees that coworker, they already feel irritation and negativity even before any conversation begins. Naturally, the interaction becomes uncomfortable and conflict grows stronger. However, Murphy suggests a different approach. Instead of feeding the subconscious mind with negative judgments about others, a person can consciously choose to send thoughts of goodwill, understanding, and peace. When someone repeatedly wishes success, happiness, and harmony for the people around them, the subconscious mind begins generating calmer emotions and more balanced reactions. This does not mean ignoring real problems or allowing others to behave unfairly. Rather, it means refusing to fill the subconscious mind with bitterness and hostility. When the mind remains peaceful, decisions become clearer, communication becomes calmer, and conflicts are handled with greater wisdom. Another key idea Murphy emphasizes is the power of forgiveness. Holding resentment towards someone keeps negative emotions alive inside the subconscious mind for a long time. Even if the other person has moved on, the person holding the resentment continues carrying that emotional burden. By choosing to forgive, a person releases that mental tension and allows the subconscious mind to return to a state of harmony. The deeper lesson of this section is that relationships are not influenced only by words and actions. They are also shaped by the thoughts and emotional patterns stored in the subconscious mind. When someone develops inner peace, kindness, and understanding, those qualities naturally begin appearing in their relationships with others. Joseph Murphy's message here is simple but powerful. If you want harmonious relationships in the outer world, you must first create harmony within your own subconscious mind, because the thoughts you hold about others today slowly become the relationships you experience tomorrow.
In The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, Joseph Murphy explains that one of the biggest emotional burdens people carry is resentment. Many individuals hold anger towards someone who hurt them in the past. Sometimes it is a friend, a family member, a colleague, or even a stranger. The event may have happened years ago, but the emotional memory continues to live inside the subconscious mind. Murphy explains that when a person repeatedly remembers an insult, betrayal, or painful event, the subconscious mind continues reliving that experience. Even though the event has already passed, the mind keeps recreating the same negative emotions, such as anger, bitterness, and frustration. Over time, this emotional pattern can affect a person's mental peace, relationships, and even physical health. Many people believe that forgiveness means approving what the other person did or pretending that the situation never happened. But Murphy explains that true forgiveness means something very different. Forgiveness is not about the other person. It is about freeing your own mind from the weight of resentment. When someone refuses to forgive, they remain emotionally connected to the painful event. Their subconscious mind continues storing that negative energy, which slowly influences their thoughts and reactions in daily life. However, when a person consciously chooses to forgive, they release that emotional tension and allow their mind to return to a peaceful state. Murphy describes forgiveness as a kind of mental cleansing. Just as the body needs to remove toxins to stay healthy, the mind also needs to release harmful emotions. When resentment is removed, the subconscious mind begins restoring balance, calmness, and emotional stability. A simple, real-life situation helps explain this idea clearly. Imagine a woman who had a serious disagreement with a close friend. The friendship ended badly, and for years she kept replaying the argument in her mind. Every time she remembered the situation, she felt angry and hurt again. Even though the friend was no longer part of her life, the emotional pain remained alive inside her mind. One day, she decided to try something different. Instead of repeating negative thoughts, she began practicing forgiveness. Each day, she quietly told herself that she wished her former friend peace, happiness, and success in life. At first, the words felt difficult and unnatural, but as she continued repeating them over time, the emotional tension slowly disappeared. Eventually, she realized that the painful memory no longer controlled her thoughts. What changed was not the past event, but the emotional meaning stored in her subconscious mind. Murphy explains that the subconscious mind responds strongly to feelings of peace and goodwill. When a person practices forgiveness sincerely, those feelings gradually replace anger and resentment. As a result, the mind becomes calmer and more balanced. The deeper message of this section is that forgiveness is not a weakness. In reality, it is one of the most powerful ways to protect the health and harmony of your own subconscious mind. When you release resentment, you allow your mind to move forward without carrying the weight of past conflicts. According to Murphy, the moment a person chooses forgiveness, they begin restoring peace within themselves. And once peace is restored in the subconscious mind, it naturally begins reflecting in the person's thoughts, emotions, and relationships.
In The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, Joseph Murphy explains that many of the limitations people experience in life are not created by external circumstances, but by mental blocks stored inside the subconscious mind. These blocks are formed by repeated negative thoughts, fears, and beliefs that slowly become fixed patterns in the mind. A mental block is simply a belief that tells you something is impossible or too difficult. Over time, when a person keeps repeating the same belief, the subconscious mind begins accepting it as truth. Once the subconscious mind accepts that idea, it starts influencing behavior in ways that match that belief. For example, a person who repeatedly tells themselves that they are not disciplined enough may start avoiding responsibilities, delaying tasks, and losing motivation. Eventually, this behavior strengthens the belief that they truly lack discipline. What started as a small thought slowly becomes a powerful mental barrier. Joseph Murphy explains that many habits are created through this same process. Habits such as procrastination, smoking, excessive worrying, or lack of confidence often begin with a repeated mental image or belief. The subconscious mind stores that pattern and begins repeating it automatically. However, the powerful idea Murphy presents is that these mental blocks are not permanent. Because the subconscious mind learned them through repetition, they can also be replaced through new patterns of thought. The author suggests that instead of fighting a negative habit directly, a person should replace the mental image behind it. When the subconscious mind receives a new and stronger image repeatedly, it slowly begins replacing the old pattern. A simple real-life example illustrates this idea clearly. A young man struggled with procrastination for many years. Whenever he had an important task to complete, he would delay it until the last moment. Over time, he began believing that he was simply a lazy person who could never stay focused. One day, he decided to change the way he spoke to himself. Every morning, he began repeating a simple statement: "I complete my work calmly and on time." Along with this affirmation, he started imagining himself finishing tasks with confidence and ease. At first, nothing changed immediately, but as he continued repeating the idea daily, his subconscious mind slowly began accepting the new belief. Within a few months, he noticed that starting tasks felt easier and his confidence improved. The mental image he had planted in his subconscious mind had gradually replaced the old pattern. Murphy explains that the subconscious mind always tries to express the ideas it receives. When negative ideas are repeated, they create limitations. But when constructive ideas are repeated with belief, they begin removing the invisible mental barriers that once held a person back. The deeper lesson of this section is that many obstacles we experience are not permanent walls, but old beliefs stored in the subconscious mind. Once a person learns how to replace those beliefs with new mental images of success and confidence, the mind naturally begins moving towards those new possibilities. And when those mental blocks are removed, people often discover that they were capable of much more than they had previously believed.
In The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, Joseph Murphy explains that fear is one of the most powerful emotions that can influence the human mind. Fear often appears when we imagine negative outcomes, failure, rejection, or danger. Over time, if these fearful thoughts are repeated again and again, they become deeply planted in the subconscious mind. Once fear enters the subconscious mind, it begins influencing behavior in subtle ways. A person may avoid opportunities, hesitate before making decisions, or hold themselves back from expressing their true abilities. What makes fear so powerful is that it often feels real, even when the danger exists only in our imagination. Murphy explains that the subconscious mind responds strongly to the mental images we repeatedly create. If someone constantly imagines failure before giving a presentation, their mind begins preparing the body for nervousness and anxiety. Their heartbeat increases, their thoughts become scattered, and the fear they imagined slowly becomes their actual experience. However, Murphy also explains that fear can be replaced using the same mental process through which it was created. Since fear is often built through repeated negative images, it can also be removed by introducing new images of confidence and success into the subconscious mind. One simple real-life example illustrates this idea clearly. A young woman had a strong fear of public speaking. Every time she had to speak in front of others, she imagined herself forgetting her words, being judged, and embarrassing herself. Because these thoughts repeated constantly, her subconscious mind accepted them as reality. As a result, whenever she stood in front of an audience, her body reacted with intense nervousness. Eventually, she learned a different approach. Each night before sleeping, she began imagining herself speaking calmly and confidently in front of people. She visualized the audience listening with interest and imagined herself finishing the talk successfully. She repeated this mental picture again and again for several weeks. Slowly, something interesting happened. When the next opportunity came to speak, she still felt nervous, but the fear was not as overwhelming as before. The new mental images she had planted in her subconscious mind began replacing the old fearful patterns. With time and practice, her confidence improved dramatically. Murphy explains that the subconscious mind cannot hold two opposite beliefs at the same time. When a strong positive belief is repeated consistently, it begins pushing out the old fearful idea. This is why visualization, affirmations, and calm mental rehearsal are powerful tools for removing fear. The deeper lesson of this section is that fear is not always an external obstacle. In many cases, it is simply a mental pattern stored inside the subconscious mind. Once a person learns to replace fearful thoughts with calm and confident mental images, the subconscious mind begins supporting courage instead of anxiety. And when that shift happens, situations that once felt frightening often become opportunities for growth and confidence.
In The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, Joseph Murphy presents a very interesting idea about aging. According to him, growing older is a natural biological process, but feeling old is often a mental condition created by the beliefs we carry in our subconscious mind. Many people begin to believe that once they reach a certain age, their opportunities, creativity, and usefulness in life start to decline. Society often reinforces this idea by suggesting that youth is the only time for ambition, innovation, and achievement. Over time, these beliefs slowly enter the subconscious mind and begin shaping how people think about themselves. Murphy explains that when a person repeatedly tells themselves that they are too old to learn something new or start something meaningful, the subconscious mind accepts that belief as truth. As a result, the person may stop exploring new ideas, avoid challenges, and gradually lose enthusiasm for life. In this way, the feeling of aging becomes more psychological than physical.
However, the author argues that the subconscious mind does not measure life in terms of age. Instead, it responds to beliefs, attitudes, and mental images. When a person continues to think creatively, remain curious, and believe in their ability to grow, the subconscious mind supports that attitude with energy and motivation. Murphy shares the idea that many remarkable achievements in history were accomplished by people who were well beyond what society considered the prime years. Writers, scientists, artists, and leaders often produced their most meaningful work later in life because they continued feeding their subconscious mind with ideas of purpose and creativity. A simple, real-life story illustrates this concept clearly. A retired teacher once believed that her active years were behind her. After leaving her job, she spent several months feeling unproductive and disconnected from the world around her. Gradually, she began believing that she had already done everything meaningful in life. One day, she decided to explore something she had always been curious about: painting. She began taking small art classes and practicing every day. At first, it was only a hobby, but as she continued learning and improving, she discovered a deep sense of joy and fulfillment. Within a few years, some of her artwork was displayed in local exhibitions. What changed was not her age, but the belief she carried in her subconscious mind. The moment she replaced the idea that her best years were over with the belief that she could still learn and create, her mind responded with renewed enthusiasm. Murphy's message in this section is that youth is closely connected to our mental attitude. A person who remains curious, hopeful, and open to new experiences keeps their subconscious mind active and creative. The deeper lesson is that life does not stop offering possibilities simply because time moves forward. When the mind remains engaged with purpose, imagination, and learning, the subconscious mind continues supporting growth at every stage of life. In this way, staying young in spirit is less about the number of years we have lived and more about the beliefs we continue to nourish in our subconscious mind.